Welcome to Thinking Outside the Soil with your host, Shani Alfalfaseed, where we get to talk story and touch on topics about hydroponics and the farmers who grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. Good morning, and happy Aloha Friday from Blooming Health Farms. And thank you for being with me on this beautiful morning. The sun is shining and this weather is totally sweet. We have a lot of dew from the rain that happened overnight, and it's been really great, except for that we have gone through more straw than ever in the past. The ground is squishy, but next year it's going to be just this amazing soil that has been growing underneath the chicken yard. So pretty excited to see what this rain has brought about, considering this show was started because of drought. And I wanted to take today's episode to talk a bit more about a gentleman who actually catapulted my desire to write the book Thinking Outside the Soil. And his name is Josh Ciardullo. Some may say I met him in a bit of a kismet way. Josh is a local rancher who runs cattle, sheep, and he has some chickens. He actually called me originally when I was writing my book. I've mentioned about the rancher who passionately implored me to pursue hydroponic fodder. Well, that's Josh. Josh and I met at the end of our summer in 2022, and I had the chance to see his beautiful ranch that's nestled against the Front Range just north of Fort Collins. And when I originally spoke to Josh, he told me about his passion for animal welfare and his desire to make sure that he fed his cattle and his sheep the best thing possible. And he was struggling with getting good grass on his land and was looking to supplement his feeding regimen with hydroponic fodder. And he was just so excited that I was able to bring some of this different knowledge. And ultimately, he asked me to pursue how to help you and other farmers and ranchers out there to control your feeding regimen. But before I jump into the story of Josh, I do have a small request. If you're enjoying our show, please leave a review, share your thoughts, your likes, your wishes, and don't forget to let others know why they should stick around as well. When I originally wrote my book and began to understand what it meant, I wanted to learn how to help farmers and ranchers use their resources more efficiently. So I needed to meet Josh after taking his call, and I arranged to meet him at his ranch, and I plan to bring some of my sprouts for any animals that he may have that he didn't tell me about. I figured that is the best way to sell, and it truly is. When I throw the sprouts out on the ground, I don't have to say anything. It's the animals that do all of the selling for me. And if you've ever fed sprouts to your chickens or other animals, you already know. So Josh, if I were to describe him, is what we would consider, I would say, that iconic cowboy that comes from that dude ranch ideal. And it's pretty fitting because Josh actually runs all of the cattle, or manages all of the cattle, on the Sylvandale Guest Ranch, which is one of America's premier guest ranches and dude ranches. It's nestled just west of Loveland in the Rocky Mountains. But even with that said, when I met Josh at his house, he was in the most comfortable clothing that you could imagine. I mean, he had sweatpants, or jogging pants, rather. He had a t-shirt, he had a ball cap, and wearing some athletic shoes. And then his wife and I went out into their pasture, and he told me all about these different things that were going on in his life. And we chatted about my intention to develop a system for sprouting. And what's really neat is we independently came up with some of the same ideas. And with the same ideas are a few coincidental things, though I really do tend to believe that there's no such thing as coincidence. So his involvement with the Sylvandale Ranch is one of them, and that is because a friend of mine and I have been designing a geothermal greenhouse, a modification of the traditional heat sink geothermal greenhouses, and we recently proposed to build one at Sylvandale Ranch. So there's some crossings of things that have come in ways that I did not expect, but we will likely get to see and work with each other in the future in ways that are going to be really, really neat. Our initial conversation showed that we really cared about animal welfare and that there weren't a lot of people in our area studying hydroponics or looking for other solutions to the challenges that we have here with water. And so we are mutually interested in pursuing some research to feed livestock hydroponic fodder. I have been working extensively on a feeding trial for egg-laying hens, and we also have some in the works for a couple other species. But more recently, he's taken to raising specific chickens because of their specific lineage and their welfare. He supports humane animal handling and specifically humane poultry handling, and advocates the ethical treatment of the chicks not destined for the farms and the like, especially the backyarders who have to get rid of the roosters. So in the poultry world, the roosters tend to get the shaft and are not necessarily useful for some people's situations. So we here and others out there have different plans for what happens when we get roosters, and I love to talk about that in another episode because that is a deeper, longer conversation that I love to talk about, and it actually invites a lot of questions from others out there. So I do wish for you to drop me some comments, some questions. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you want to hear down the line. And we will do our best to get those answers so that I can present them to you in a way that I have for others like Josh. And Josh is an advocate of all of these sustainable agricultural practices that we do. And with his chickens, he chooses organic feed and seed, especially the formulations that are free of corn and free of soy. And so Josh, as I may have alluded to in the past, has been an advocate and supporter of Blooming Health Farms, and he is now a customer of our organic chicken feed and our organic chicken blended sprouting mix. So he can keep getting really, really awesome eggs when those rare poultry get to the laying eggs. And I will argue with him and assure him that he is going to get better eggs than he's ever had in the past. But that is all I have for us today. If you want to know more about how hydroponic fodder is helping farmers save water, improve livestock quality, and become better stewards, head on over to thinkingoutsidethesoil.com and get yourself a copy of my book so you don't miss out on becoming part of this next agricultural revolution and allow your ladies or your livestock to give you some of the best products while being the happiest and healthiest they have ever been. Thank you for being with us on today's show, and join us again on another episode of Thinking Outside the Soil. Take care and have a lovely day. Hey, before you go, check out the links below, and if you'd be so kind as to leave a rating and review and follow the show. For those with feathered friends, don't forget to get yourself some of our Blooming Health Farms Chicken Blend Sprouting Mix. This supplemental mix has been shown to give you some of the best eggs with the yummiest yolks. You'll have happy, healthy hens that abandon the feeder and give you eggs with high levels of vitamin A and omega fatty acids. So don't forget to get yourself some Blooming Health Farms Chicken Blend Sprouting Mix.